and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The police in Abia have declared a restriction of movement in the southeast state ahead of Saturday's governorship election in neighbors Anambra. The Commissioner of Police, Anthony Ogazi, in a press conference said the order has become necessary following a threat by the outlawed IPOB to disrupt the polls. Ogbizi said the police is ready to deal with any person or group of persons that break the law, adding that the police has deployed forces to protect the borders with Anambra State. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has also deployed 14,000 personnel to assist the police in securing the elections. Meanwhile, the opposition People's Democratic Party has called on security personnel and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to ensure a free and fair election. The party described Saturday's governorship election as a litmus test for INEC and the ruling All Progressive Congress. It also insists it was fully prepared and ready for the election. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured his government is still working to ensure the release of the 113 Chibok schoolgirls still under the captive of Boko Haram. The president's assurance comes days after parents of the 113 schoolgirls wrote an open letter to his office pleading for the rescue of their children. In his speech at the launch of a book by the presidential team in Abuja, Buhari assured that his government is still negotiating with the sect to secure the release of the remaining girls. The girls are part of the over 270 schoolgirls kidnapped by the terrorist sect in 2014. So far, the current administration has been able to secure the release of 103 of them, while a few others managed to escape. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) says it would continue to support reforms that are transparent, credible, and tailored at addressing critical issues in the country. NLC President Ayuba Waba stated this at the National Executive Council meeting in Abuja, the nation's capital. Waba said the challenges in Nigeria are numerous, but the chief is the threat of sack meted out to workers in the country. He added that throwing workers out of their jobs does not mean well for the nation, as this will only inflict more pains on the people.
We will support reforms that are transparent, that are credible, that are aimed to address those challenges in our body politic, because it's a fact that we have a systemic challenge. In all our sectors, we have systemic challenges that need to be addressed. But we, Labour, can only support processes that are transparent and that also conforms with the rule of law. In the case of Kaduna, teaching is a profession. And therefore, if teaching is a profession, the professional body that is supposed to test the competency of teachers is the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. That was not done. These same workers have undergone about 4 competency tests, and is the last result that is being used. We are also aware that this is part of the conditionalities of World Bank for such states to assess foreign loan. In fact, part of the conditionality is that they should reduce workers. So hiding under any pretext, including the one that has been mentioned, competency tests, to us cannot be justified, especially when the rule of law have not been followed.
Italian investigators have revealed how the 26 Nigerian women found on a Spanish military ship died. The Italian government had launched an investigation into the cause of their death, as the women were believed to have been physically and sexually abused before they died. Italian authorities said post-mortem examinations on the body confirmed they almost all drowned at the sea. According to the autopsy carried out in Salerno in southern Italy, 25 of the females died of asphyxiation in the water when the inflatable dinghy they were traveling on sank. The United Nations Population Fund says it would continually partner with the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria in its resolve to potentially reduce maternal and newborn deaths in the country. The UNFPA country representative, Dan Keita, gave the assurance at the unveiling of 6 new training modules for nurses and midwives in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city.
Investing in midwives' education with appropriate deployment of midwives could yield a 16-fold return on investment in terms of lives saved, and cost of cesarean sections avoided. Therefore, I want to say that UNFPA stands to collaborate with the Council on this program and any other program that will contribute to enhance the quality of work that you are doing, and in so doing, enhance the quality of the services that you render and the quality of life of the people of Nigeria in general.
I therefore urge all the nurses, all the facilitators and midwife tutors that participated in these very important government activities for the last 5 years to ensure effective utilization of it at our respective states so that we'll be able to contribute our quota in reducing the menace of maternal and infant mortality in this country.
The mandatory continuing professional development program is a continuing program for midwives and nurses in Nigeria and is part of the requirements for their licensure renewal every 3 years. They had 10 training modules prior to our intervention, but we saw the need for a scale-up, or we saw the need for additional training modules because of emerging issues, new knowledge, and refocus in the health system of Nigeria.
Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe has appeared in public for the first time since the army's takeover earlier this week. Mugabe, who was believed to be under house arrest, attended a graduation ceremony at the Zimbabwe Open University in the capital Harare on Friday, where he was welcomed by a cheering crowd of supporters. Dressed in a blue academic gown and hat, he entered the ceremony venue surrounded by security personnel and announced the opening of the event after joining the crowd and singing the national anthem. Mugabe had been under house arrest for days. The army made its move after a power struggle over his successor. The military said on Friday it was engaging with Mugabe and would advise the public on the outcome of talks as soon as possible. President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with President Hassan Rouhani and the people of Iran over the devastating earthquake which struck the western province of Kermanshah recently, causing the death of hundreds and injuring thousands. The president, who described the natural disaster as its fallout, a very unfortunate, sad and massive, said, "The thoughts and hearts of Nigerians are with the people of Iran at this trying period." President Buhari also expressed similar condolence to the government and people of Iraq over the human and material losses suffered in the wake of the earthquake on their border with Iran. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has formally asked the National Assembly for powers to retain a part of loot recovered by it. A spokesperson of the commission, Rasheedat Okoduwa, disclosed this in a statement on Friday. Okoduwa said the request was one of the proposals made by the commission through a memorandum submitted to the House of Representatives Committee on Anti-Corruption. The Senate panel investigating the reinstatement and promotion of the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms, Abdulrasheed Maina, is proposing to submit the report of the committee in December this year. The chairman of the other committee, Emmanuel Polka, said this after the committee held a closed-door session in his office with the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. This is the second time the committee is holding an investigative hearing with the AGF privately without journalists in attendance. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Nigerian Senate to suspend its ongoing probe of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. The judge, Justice Ababelu Muhammad, in his ruling, ordered the suspension of the probe pending the hearing of the substantive suit of breach of right to fair hearing by the Senate leadership against the IG. The judge also granted leave to the applicant's counsel to publish in 2 national dailies all papers concerning the originating summons, including hearing notice, which would be served on the Senate. He will join the case until December 4 to hear the main issue in the substantive suit before this court.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so...
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no. You don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the world of business. Ngozi Okoye is standing by.
Thank you, Fidelia. The Nigeria government says two internationally renowned aircraft manufacturers, Airbus and Boeing, have indicated interest in Nigeria's national carrier. According to the Minister of State for Aviation, Senate Hadi Serika, the manufacturers have expressed willingness to discuss their interest with the government. He also said an MOU is expected to be signed within the next few weeks. On several occasions, Serika has announced the federal government's determination to establish a national carrier as well as a facility for maintenance, repair, and overhaul in order to reposition the country's aviation sector. The federal government has directed the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, to reinstate the regulation that allows power consumers to purchase meters from approved vendors. In a statement, the Ministry of Power ordered NEC to permit power consumers to purchase meters, especially where the distribution companies could not provide the facility. The ministry said the resolution was reached at the recent third edition of the National Power Council. Oil prices rose on Friday, but were still on track considering the losses seen within the week due to concerns on oversupply. Signs of rising output experienced this week in the United States have reduced the impact of deal restricting output agreed by the OPEC, Russia, and several other producers. Its control on oil output have propped up prices, taking benchmark Brent crude oil above $64 last week to highs not seen since 2015. Brent was up 66 cents at $62.04, while US was at $56.08. Equities market closed today on a positive note as the Nigeria Stock Exchange All-Share Index appreciated by 0.19% to close at 36,703.58 basis points. In the same light, the equity capitalization closed at 12.774 trillion naira as against 12.750 trillion recorded in previous session. Among the gainers for the day is Unilever appreciating by 3.88%, PZard by 5.00%, Nestle 0.08%, and Nigeria Breweries by 0.47%. Stocks that had downtrend include Better Glass PLC, Okomu Oil, UACM PLC, and Cadbury Nigeria PLC. The four top traded stocks in terms of volume were Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC, Zenith Bank, Diamond Bank, and ICO Insurance PLC. Now to summarize the market trade for the day. The volume of traded shares hit billions as against the regular million status, leaving volume of traded equities to 1.827 billion shares, valued at 6.306 billion naira in 3,097 deals.
Give him his shoes somewhere here, his phone and everything.
Don't do like that again.
Thank you. So, bye-bye. Hey,
Oga,
where do you think you are going?
Oh, you never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body.
Shake body, see?
Huh? You never shake body.
I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here.
Sit down there. Welcome, man. What's this man still doing here?
They say I do shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I do this. And I say I don't get color.
You are asking for money.
Sorry, man.
Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Glad to have you back. 3 people were killed on Friday as Kenyan police tried to disperse supporters cheering a convoy carrying opposition leader Raila Odinga from the airport to central Nairobi. The death occurred as police and protesters fought on one of the main roads leading to the business district. Odinga has called for a national resistance movement to protest against the outcome of a repeat presidential election last month, which saw President Uhuru Kenyatta win his second 5-year term with 98% of the vote after Odinga boycotted the contest. Only 39% of registered voters took part in the rerun polls. Shooting by the Syrian regime on the rebel-held area of eastern Ghouta near Damascus today killed at least 10 civilians, including 6 children. The deaths were the result of the latest violence in an escalating cycle of tit-for-tat attacks between regime forces and the rebels holding the enclave on the Syrian capital's eastern outskirts. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a total of 43 civilians have been killed in the process, most of them in eastern Ghouta, which has been besieged since 2013 and where humanitarian conditions are dire. Moving on to the world of sports now, Nigeria will participate in her first ever Winter Olympics Games after the country's bobsleigh team advanced to the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. The country will also be Africa's first ever representative at the bobsleigh event in the Winter Games. The Nigerian team, made up of Seun Adigun, Ngozi Owumere and Akwoma Omega, qualified through the North America Cup in Park City. No African country has ever won a medal at the Winter Games. The Confederation of African Football has agreed to postpone the nation's cup qualifiers initially scheduled for March to October. The postponement is to allow the continent's World Cup participants, which are Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, Senegal, and Tunisia, prepare for the 2018 tournament. Nigeria's football chief Amaju Pinnick had requested that the international window be left open for friendly matches against similar World Cup opponents instead. His request has now been granted. World Remit becomes the first official online money transfer partner of the Premier League club Arsenal. The leading digital money transfer business has joined forces with Arsenal to accelerate the company's growth and help more people save money on international transfers. The global partnership will provide World Remit with a range of rights and players' access to support its expansion plans.
We all know that football has this extraordinary reach and provides this incredible emotional connection with people. And it's a really powerful thing, and we want to use that power, working with organisations like World Remit, to think about how we can grow our community programmes. We have local community programmes that run every single week, which touch around 5,000 people in the local Islington community. But we also partner with organisations like Save the Children that carry that message.
Football is the universal language, everybody understands. Go to any part of Africa, Asia, you see kids playing. We're delighted to be announcing our partnership with Arsenal. We're becoming the official online money transfer.
Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.